Students, I will let you know something about the respiratory system in rabbit. In rabbit, as a vertebrate, respiration is affected by the lungs. The lungs are light, spongy structures placed inside the thoracic cavity. The thoracic cavity is an airtight chamber in which only the lungs are lodged. Now, it is bounded by the following components. Anteriorly or in front, we have the sternum or the chest bone. At the back side, we have the vertebral column, and laterally we have the ribs. And below, in the lower surface, we have a muscular diaphragm helping in respiratory movements. So these are the four components which form the airtight chamber, the thoracic cavity. Now the lungs. The lungs are enclosed or covered with a double-layered membrane, what is called pleura. Double-layered membrane called pleura. Now normally the atmospheric air passes through the external nostrils, the nasal chamber, then entering into the pharynx. The pharynx leads to the windpipe or trachea. Windpipe or trachea. Just normally, the windpipe, the trachea, is supported by cartilaginous rings. We'll see later on. So anyway, the air passing through the external nostrils, nasal chamber, then pharynx, entering into the windpipe or the trachea. Now, the first part of the windpipe is called larynx. A few words about the larynx. The first part of the trachea is called the larynx. Now this is the larynx. Larynx. Now in the larynx there is a small opening, what is called the glottis. So from the pharynx, the air enters into the trachea through a small slit called glottis. Now the first part of the trachea is enlarged to form the larynx or voice box. Voice box. Internally, the voice box contains the vocal cords. The vocal cords. The vibrations of vocal cords produce the sound. The vibrations of the vocal cord produce sounds. So, the wall of the larynx is supported by four cartilaginous plates, inside which we have vocal cords. So, four cartilaginous plates. Number of cartilaginous plates present in the wall of larynx, four cartilaginous plates, and inside which we have the vocal cords, the vibrations of which produce the sound. Now there is a flap of cartilage, what is called epiglottis. This is what is called epiglottis. There is a flap of cartilage called epiglottis, and this one normally prevents entry of food while we are eating. While the animal is feeding or eating the food. Even in our case also, the glottis is coated by a flap of cartilage, what's called epiglottis. It can be closed or open. At times of feeding, at times of eating. Now this epiglottis closes the glottis, the opening, and prevents the entry of food into the larynx or trachea. Then, the trachea is nothing but the windpipe. The trachea is a windpipe. The wall of the trachea is supported by cartilaginous rings. The wall of the trachea is supported by cartilaginous rings. It prevents the trachea from collapse. It keeps the free passage of air and preventing the collapse of the trachea. Then the trachea divides into two branches called bronchi. And each bronchus enters into the lung. And each bronchus enters the lung. And inside the lung, the bronchus divides, subdivides to form bronchioles. Bronchioles. So suppose this is the bronchi and this one the bronchiole. And each bronchiole ends in assays called alveoli. The unit of lung function. Alveoli, the unit of lung function. So trachea, bronchus, bronchioles. Now we have the assays called alveoli. the unit of lung function where exchange of gases is possible. Now if we are taking the lungs, now this is the left lung and that is the right lung. Now this is actually what is called the left lung. It is being formed of two lobes. This is anterior left lobe, anterior left lobe, and this is the posterior left lobe, and this is the left lung formed of anterior left lobe and posterior left lobe. Likewise on the right side, and this is anterior right lobe, and this is the posterior right lobe, posterior, that is right lobe, right lobe. That's about the lobes, and each lung is enclosed within a double-layered membrane, what is called the pleura. Now the breathing is affected because of the muscles between the rib bones and the diaphragm. The diaphragm muscles actually responsible for breathing movements. Now the act of breathing includes, or respiration includes, two events. What are the two events of respiration? One is inspiration. This is nothing but breathing enough air. One is inspiration, breathing enough air. Another one, expiration. Another one, expiration. This is breathing out of air. Breathing out. And these two events are responsible for the exchange of gases. So taking enough air is called inspiration. Another is called breathing in movement. And giving out of air outside the lungs is called actually expiration or breathing out. So these two movements are brought about because of the muscles between the rib bones as well as the diaphragm muscles. Now, because of these two events only, the exchange of gases, namely carbon dioxide and oxygen, is taking place. Now the inspiration is an active process. This is an active process because it needs energy for doing the process. And expiration is a passive process. Expiration is a passive process because it doesn't require energy. So inspiration and expiration together form what is called one breathing or one respiration movement. And inspiration is an active process because it needs energy, and expiration is a passive process because it doesn't require energy. So these are all the breathing movements and the structures related to the respiratory system. As a general rule, in all the vertebrates, the circulatory system is formed of three components. One, the heart. The second one, the blood vessels. Second one, blood vessels. And the third one, the blood. So nothing given in the syllabus about the blood vessels and blood because you already studied under physiology the circulatory system. We have to study something about the structural aspects of heart. Now, the heart is pear-shaped. The shape of the heart, pear-shaped. Pear-shaped. It is placed inside the thoracic cavity in between the two lungs. The heart is enclosed in a double-walled membranous structure called pericardium. Pericardium. Double-walled membranous structure covering the heart, pericardium. And between the two membranes there is a fluid what is called pericardial fluid, which prevents the friction of the heart while the heart is working. That's about the pericardium. Now let's go for the chambers of the heart. What are the chambers of the heart? The heart is formed of four chambers. The heart is formed of four chambers. The upper two chambers are called auricles. These are the upper two chambers called auricles. The lower two chambers are called ventricles. Now, we are seeing the heart from dorsal view. So now this is the right auricle and this is what is called the left auricle. And the lower chamber, this is the right ventricle and this is the left ventricle. Now there is a partition between the right auricle and the left auricle, what is called interauricular septum. Similarly, between the two ventricles there is a partition wall separating the two ventricles, that is called interventricular septum. Now, this is about the chambers of the heart. Two auricles, two ventricles. Now, what are the different types of walls present? The second one, the walls of the heart. Walls. We have three different types of walls present in the heart. Number one, right atrioventricular wall. Right atrioventricular wall. This is a wall present at the opening, that is right atrioventricular aperture. It is present opening the right atrioventricular aperture. This wall is called tricuspid wall. Tricuspid wall. So if we are taking a symbol diagram of the heart, I am representing only a symbol diagram. This is what's called actually in this one. Internally I am taking right auricle. This is right ventricle, the left auricle, left ventricle. We are seeing from what is called the ventral view. Now this is the aperture, right atrioventricular aperture, which is guarded by a wall having three flaps, and that is called a right atrioventricular wall, a tricuspid wall. Similarly, there is another opening present between the left auricle and the left ventricle, and there is a wall which guards the opening, what is called the left atrioventricular aperture, and that wall is called left atrioventricular wall, and this is called bicuspid. This is called bicuspid or mitral wall. Another name for this one, mitral wall. Mitral wall. Now here, this is the bicuspid wall. You can see there are two flaps, and here you can see three flaps, hence the name tricuspid and bicuspid. Similarly, at the base of the openings of the pulmonary artery and aorta, at the base of the openings of the pulmonary artery and aorta, we have another set of walls called semilunar walls. Semilunar walls. The semilunar wall present at the base of the pulmonary artery is called, that is, pulmonary wall, and another wall, the semilunar wall present at the base of the aorta is called aortic wall, but commonly called semilunar walls. So these are all the three types of walls. Their main function is to prevent the backward flow of blood. Now that's about the walls. We can go for the blood vessels connected to the heart. What are the different blood vessels connected to the heart? Now there are two precaval veins. So blood vessels connected to heart. Connected to heart. What are the different types of blood vessels connected? Number one, two precaval veins. Two precaval veins. Now they are also called superior vena cava. Vena cava singular, superior vena cava. Now one on the right side, another one on the left side. Now this is what is called actually the right precaval vein. And this one is the left precaval vein. Left precaval vein. Both the veins collect blood from the anterior parts of the body and open into the right auricle. So the right auricle receives impure blood or deoxygen blood from various parts of the body through two precaval veins and also another vein collecting blood from the post parts of the body, and now this is postcaval vein. Postcaval vein. This is also called as, so two precaval veins, one postcaval vein. The postcaval vein is also called inferior vena cava. It's also called inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava. So it collects blood from the posterior parts of the body. So three veins open into the right auricle, collecting the blood from various parts of the body and drain the blood into the right auricle. Now, what are the other blood vessels? From the right ventricle arises a blood vessel, collecting impure blood, because the right auricle empties the blood into the right ventricle, it carries only the deoxygenated or impure blood. From the right ventricle arises a blood vessel, and that is called the pulmonary artery. The pulmonary artery divides into two branches. The pulmonary artery divides into two branches, one to each lungs. Now, this is the left pulmonary artery. Left pulmonary artery. Normally present on the ventral side, but here we are talking about. And this is what we have, the right pulmonary artery. So the pulmonary artery is arising from the right ventricle, carrying the blood to the lungs for purification. So right and left pulmonary arteries. So arising from the right ventricle, a single pulmonary artery divides into left and right pulmonary arteries, supplying blood to each lung. This is about what we have. Actually, pulmonary arteries arising from the right ventricle. From the left ventricle, there arises a large blood vessel, carrying pure blood or oxygenated blood to all parts of the body. And that is what is called aorta, otherwise called systemic arch. Systemic arch, also called by name aorta. Systemic arch. It is the one which carries pure blood arising from the left ventricle, leading to all parts of the body. Now anteriorly it gives rise, we see that one represents three branches. This is what is called the left subclavian artery, then coronary artery. This is the left subclavian going to the shoulder. The coronary artery, just now I made a mistake, there is a coronary artery is also a branch, but this is a carotid artery carrying the blood to the brain. And then we have a common carotid which divides into a subclavian towards the right side and a carotid also towards the right side to the brain. So we have the branches arising carotid and subclavian arteries. It's not mentioned in your syllabus. They are carrying blood to the brain and the shoulders of the body. Then again, after purification is over, that is in the lungs, the oxygenated blood is carried by two pulmonary veins. The two pulmonary veins join together and open into the left auricle. Now here represent the green one. This is the pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein. So as a general rule, you know that the veins are concerned with the transport of impure blood. But here exception is there in all vertebrates. The pulmonary artery carries impure blood or deoxygenated blood, and the pulmonary veins carry pure or oxygenated blood. Now there are two pulmonary veins which join together to form a single vein which opens into the left atrium. So the left atrium receives the pure blood, the right atrium receives the impure blood or deoxygenated blood. Then they are being emptied to the respective or ventricles, either to the right ventricle or to the left ventricle according to the nature. From right auricle to the right ventricle, the blood is emptied, which contains deoxygenated blood, and from the left auricle, the blood is emptied to the left ventricle, which is nothing but oxygenated blood, and it is being transported to all parts of the body. So that's about the structural aspects of the heart. What is given in the book is nothing but the dorsal view. So you have to study all these things under the following headings: the location of the heart, the chambers of the heart, then the walls of the heart, and what are the blood vessels connected to the heart. These are the different headings. You can find out and then do that one in the problem.